The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 26th day of October, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamel Hartman. He's Philip Trutt, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Phil, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Good to see everybody again.
Yeah. I mean, you got on your Republican colors this morning, got on red. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I was told.
It can't be red in support of Bermuda Union and the teachers.
Oh, that's what it is? Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what I'll go with.
I thought you was gonna go Somerset, but I was like,
well,
no, he won't come.
No.
He won't do such a thing. No. All right. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Tamara Richardson of People's Pharmacy on the show. 38 years in business this year, folks. The Daily Play is music today, Phil. It's music today.
I can handle music.
All righty. Thank you to everyone who continues to support us. If you haven't already signed up for our membership on our YouTube channel, please just hit the join button beneath the YouTube video to become an official member of our channel. That's how you can do it. We appreciate any support. You can also join each show. You can give us thanks, show us that you appreciate the work that all of us are doing. You can just hit thanks at the bottom and make a contribution if you so choose to. But this morning, there's a lot going on around the globe, Phil. There's wars, there's political elections, and then there's a rapper entrepreneur named Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, who is pretty much, how can I put it, creating chaos in the media. Now, for those who don't know, I honestly don't know exactly what he said. I'm not one who understands a lot of when it comes to that. I stay in my lane a lot of times when it comes to certain things. But Kanye West has said a lot of controversial things over the years. And I think it relates to Bermuda in many ways. And I guess the question, there was a time in Bermuda where, I remember the late Laverne Ferbert telling me, Jamel, there was a time in Bermuda we couldn't be outspoken supporters of the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party. If you said you supported such and such, you get your mortgage pulled. Like, I've heard these stories that you could not speak up. And if you did, you got blackballed or, pulled on the carpet. I know there's this thing about cancel culture going on right now. And, my thought is, is it really cancel culture, or is it the consequences of your words and actions being called to the floor? The question of the morning is going to be simple. And this, Bermuda, we, including myself, this is a question for all of us. What can we learn from the Ye, formerly Kanye West situation? Basically, what's happened is he has been dropped by Adidas. I thought the Gap thing was already in place. I swear we saw a story about that a couple months ago, but dropped by Gap, dropped by his agency. Two athletes, Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown have left his sports agency. It looks like he's losing. Overnight, I believe Forbes reported that he's no longer part of the billionaire club.
Nope.
So, question of the morning, folks. What can we, Bermudians, people watching this show, whoever, wherever you are, what can we learn from this situation? What are some of the takeaways? What are some of the lessons?
Well, I would say one of the things for me, I think we need to define first is, what is freedom of speech, because it I want to say it infuriates me because I got bigger problems, but it frustrates me when I see um, people talk about, oh, I'm being canceled, or oh, I'm being my freedom of speech is being um, impeded on because of somebody just basically disagreeing with you.
Mm,
That's nonsense. All that any country that has an element of freedom of speech law in their on their constitution,
mm,
all that means is you cannot go to jail. That's
mm,
all it means. It means you can go out on Front Street, you can talk about, say, untoward things about people from St. David's,
mm,
and you won't go to jail for it. You can
mm,
say, oh, Jamal can say whatever he wants about the premier. He won't go to jail for it.
mm,
That's all it means.
mm.
You can be fired, you can get your butt beat. You can a lot can happen to you. All it means is you cannot go to jail.
Well, Maya actually just put back in the chat what I say often. I've said it on this show since we started.
Hmm.
And I'll just repeat. She says you're free to speak, but you are not free of consequence. And I always say on this show, freedom of speech does not mean freedom to say what you want without consequences.
That's
That's the
all it
bottom
means.
line. That is the bottom line. It does not mean that you are free to say what you want without consequences. Now, um,
For
there was.
example, real quick, for example,
Mhm.
you can say something and we'll lose a sponsor.
Well, you
Like
don't have
that.
to say that publicly, Phil. That's something that we could have left in the
No,
background.
but
But
I
I, I
mean,
I think the reality of it is, I'm gonna say what I want.
right, 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 right.
There's levels to it, but what you don't want to do is bring something like something liable or defamatory on any sponsor or supporter of this show. But yeah, we want to leave that kind of stuff back.
Yeah, okay.
Mia Hartman says. The only thing I've learned is that you can speak about black folks on a negative level, and that's fine. Speak about any other race, and you'll be tossed away. Well, what's an example? Because I've seen people say that Kanye said something about black people and didn't nothing happened. What did he say about black people that was? I don't even know what he said about Jewish people, folks. So I don't even like. If it can't be repeated, I understand, but I'm
Right.
not quite sure what Kanye said about black people that should have gotten him the boot. I'm not quite sure what he said about Jewish people to get him the boot. I guess my point in this conversation is, where do we draw the line? What can we learn? Is there a line we say, you know what, we can say this, we can speak about black people, but we can speak about any other race? I don't know, but what can we learn from it? Is that the lesson that we're learning from it? That black people, fair game, everyone else is off limits?
I think what Mia is referring to is he said something, about his come up with the White Lives Matter shirt. He also said that slavery was a choice, and I think what she's saying is that there's always going to be people that agree with whatever you're saying. There are people that think that what Kanye said about Jewish people is legit, but it's like it seems like when you say and I'm just saying not paraphrasing, but I'm sort of speaking for the people that I think what Mia is talking about is
So
that they when it comes to saying something about one group, like you can't say anything about Jewish people in the States, right? Like that's a red button. But when it comes to black people, it seems like you can almost say whatever you want. You got to get caught on camera saying something really, really
well, he
bad for
didn't say anything about black people wearing a White Lives Matter shirt.
no, but I think the implication of the White Lives Matter shirt says that black lives sort of
Well,
it
and
minimizes
then the
black
other
people.
thing about slavery being a choice, I mean, as I said prior to coming on, I mean, is he lying about that? I think we get so emotional. The example I use is conscription to the Bermuda Regiment was law, but it was a choice. The reason it's a choice because we all felt like, well, this is the law, this is what we're supposed to do, and we went along with it, right? Slavery was no different at one point in the U.S., at least, because at the end of the day, people could have revolted. It would have cost them their lives. If you go beyond the surface and what he was saying with that slavery was a choice, all he's simply saying is people chose not to fight back because of the consequences.
But see what you're doing? You're going down a real deep level of analysis with what Kanye says. And it seems like you don't have to do that with any statement about Jewish people.
Point made.
Like people say, oh, the Jews could have fought back. Jews could have fought back too. Yeah, okay, but they were getting hauled off to containment camps or concentration camps. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think that's what people are saying. Like everybody else gets that deep, or black people get that. Yeah.
So I fair. He couldn't have made that same comment about them. And right. I got you. Charles H. Jeffers II says we can learn that mental health is real. That's the only explanation for many of the things he has done and said. I pray he gets help soon. Well, we talk about mental health a lot, but do we really? Do we act on it? And the reason I say that, I don't know who Kanye West's friends are, who is surrounded with. I mean, I don't know. I don't follow celebrities, and to be honest, I'm not into rap, so I don't know any Kanye songs since what's that? Jesus Walks song? That was Kanye.
Yeah.
I see. That's the last song I think I could probably remember, and then it was one with Jamie Foxx. She gave me money or something like that. But all that said, I'm not into fashion, so I don't have any of his clothes or anything like that. I'm not into it. All that said, whoever he surrounds himself with, it's obvious, they don't think he probably has a mental health issue, or if they do, they probably, aren't encouraged him to see anybody. And then let's be honest, folks. Let's be honest. There are people who brag about going to therapy for their mental health challenges and speak about it publicly, but some of them literally go not to, become better or, get the healing they need. They go for their own ego to say, well, I went to my therapist and I'm okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They go for validation.
Yeah. I think people that actually, I'm a big supporter of, going to therapy, but I don't think that's something, it's just weird. Like the times we live in, like everything has to be announced, and it's usually announced via social media. Like, oh, I'm going to therapy. Like that's something you could have kept to yourself. Like,
I agree.
Are you going for yourself, or are you going so you could tell us that you're going?
I mean, it could be like the charity thing with me, because I'm like, I don't see why people have to tell people what they're doing for charity. But I think the example is some people may be sharing so that others would be encouraged to go. I don't know. I'm just trying to play advocate, but I'm with you, Phil. I definitely am with you. What can we learn from the Ye, formerly Kanye West situation? You want to take Sheikah and Sam Cat place?
Sure. Sheikah says, where we go. Oh, established brands will protect themselves from what it believes to be a revenue threat. That's a very good point. Yeah. That does happen as well. I agree with that one. Sam Cat Place says he's basically jabbing at sensitive issues in order to rile everyone up. Just don't give him the attention. Mute him on your end is what people should do. I do. Every time I hear his name, I mute him. And I've started to do that too. There is something that Sheikah ran actually this part about the revenue threat. Actually, no, it was the point that Sam Cat Place said about his doing things to rile everybody up. I think there is an element of that, and also he was complaining a couple weeks or days ago about his contract with Adidas, and so people are saying that maybe part of it is he was saying all this stuff so that they would drop him and he could get out of the contract. So it could be a mental health thing, it could be business strategy thing behind it. I can't really say for sure, but I think I still agree with Mia's point before about there's things that you can say and avenues you can go down with Black people that you just can't do with anybody else.
I mean, to touch on Sheikah's point about revenue threat, at the end of the day, a business is going to always do what's in the best interest of a business, right? And if they felt this guy was a threat to their bottom line, yeah, you're out, your history. Now, about him riling people up, folks, I honestly don't follow celebrities. So I don't know unless it's in a chat group. Now, I'm active on Twitter. He doesn't even come up in my trending. I've never said anything. But people literally have to direct me to what he said or saying.
Yeah.
But
I stopped really following.
The tie-in here is what, we look at Bermuda, right? Just on Monday, we were talking about MP Dickinson removing his video from YouTube, right? Now, word has it that he was asked by the premier. Now, again, I'm not saying this is fact. Word has it he was asked to remove it by the premier. Now, the question was asked, well, why would he remove it? Well, because there's obviously some things in there that make the government and the premier look pretty bad. Consequences, actions. Consequences, actions. Kanye West, Ye, right? Ye got dropped. Mr. Dickinson dropped his video. You see any correlation in terms of, hold on. Mr. Dickinson's taken L after L after L. You lost to Premier Burt. Then what's being said, the second L is being asked to remove a video that people supported you with. Something's not right here. And so my challenge is, in trying to understand this, is what does the public learn from all of this? What is it in our best interest? How can we become better from all of this? Because I get Phil and Mia in saying, say what you want about black folk, but don't touch anybody else. There's some truth in this.
I think the lesson for me anyway is that I think we kind of summed it up at the beginning that, you have freedom of speech, but you also have consequences that come with it. Now, it may be that some people's children are deathly afraid of getting licks. Some people don't care. Some children don't care. So some people are afraid of losing sponsors. So Kanye clearly doesn't, he may not care. So there's the consequence, but then it's like, do you care? Like, is the consequence going to bother you? So like you could say with Curtis Dickinson removing the video, well, what if he didn't?
Well,
would there be a consequence?
That's my point. What were the consequences if he left that video up? Now, what are the consequences with him?
And would he been able to deal with the consequences? Because there's also that aspect too. Like, we know that there's consequences, but even with the PLP situation back in the day, we say Laverne Farrell was saying you couldn't speak up. You knew that there's a chance that your mortgage could have got called in and all that other stuff. We know that the consequences there. Are you prepared to deal with those consequences? Which also might impact whether you say what you're going to say or not.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think consequences, freedom of speech. It's a thin line. You watch TV shows and listen to radio shows and all the time, like the Breakfast Club, and you always wonder what's that line that Charlemagne isn't gonna cross. You watch television shows or radio shows over the years, Howard Stern. What's that line that they're not gonna cross that's gonna cost them? Well, you see how it worked out for Howard Stern when he got in trouble back in the day. He just went to satellite radio.
He's actually cleaned up a lot, actually.
Oh, he's changed from the early 2000s, late 90s. He's changed. Yeah. But again, he went he, like Kanye, he kind of dared them, and then he went that route. Now, does Kanye have that same plan? I don't know. What I will say is, as long as you have sponsors and supporters where you rely on them to be paid, then you kind of have to follow rules. And that doesn't mean that, and people be like, oh, well, this is not authentic. You're not real. No, you can still be authentic and real, but you just have to be respectful and understand the brands. I'm gonna be honest, since Phil wanted to blab his mouth earlier, right? We've had a sponsor or two on this show have a chat with me, about something, and they were cool with it. It was the people that were coming to them like, oh, da da da. And I'll tell you what I did. I called a politician a name. And that politician's mother reached out to a sponsor. And at the end of the day, I have to earn that, because there's no reason that I should be calling individuals names. Now, if you're a group of sick people, then that's what you are.
Right.
But there's no reason for me to explain a person in that manner. And so, no, I earn that. I earn that. So I don't want people. I think we collectively need to know what that line is. What is that line? Let's go back to the comments. Carla J says, she's talking about Ye. Kanye also said Harriet Tubman never actually freed slaves. She just had them go work for other people. Sean DeShield says, what does that say about how we consider our priorities? Not sure. And then Neil Hartman says, unfortunately, the human race would rather accept sugar-coated lies. Truth will only hold the boogeyman accountable, and to many under the tables will no longer benefit should truth be told. Well, I mean, folks, we live in a world in which we answer to people and things. That's the truth.
You gotta answer to Maya for she.
Oh, right. Let's bring we do answer to Maya, but let's be real about it. We do answer to people, even those who think, oh, I work for myself. You know the old saying about the taxi driver, right? Taxi driver. Oh, I don't work for nobody. And then as soon as somebody, hey, yo, go in Front Street. Like, we all work for people.
Mm-hmm.
We all answer to people.
Somebody else.
And my biggest takeaway from this Kanye West situation, no matter how rich you think you are, because one thing I did see is the Piers Morgan and him, a clip of that. How I'm richer than you, Piers. No matter how much you think you have, folks, you answer to someone. Yep. And that to me is a takeaway that we all should understand. Let's bring Maya in before you get in trouble, Phil, because I was trying to bring her in 2 minutes ago. Why is she talking to herself, Phil? Ain't nobody can hear her.
She's on mute. You're on mute.
I know. She's talking to herself then.
Good morning. This is a Daily Hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy.
Hi, Maya. Yeah. That was pretty cool. We got to clip that, Phil. Maya, consequences. You can't just go and report what you want without any facts and just sharing opinions, can you?
I mean, everyone does it every single day on the internet. But again, yes, you can say what you want, but you're not without consequence. That's the thing.
Yeah, but as a journalist, you wouldn't just go put up a story and without
sourcing something. Oh, no, of course not. I wouldn't do that. But that's my role and my job as a journalist, and being ethical and correct. Kanye West has this major platform where, we've really allowed him to say whatever he wants to say throughout the years. So now we're at this point where, unfortunately, it does have to do a lot with his mental health. I truly believe that. And as a journalist, the way I see it is like these other platforms keep giving him these opportunities to speak and say whatever that he wants, whether it be live or even pre-recorded, and then they post it afterwards. And it's just like, if you know that this man is not in a mentally correct state, which most people can see and people have talked about, why would you give him this platform to say what he's going to say? He clearly needs help. And like you guys are talking about who his friends are, like I really wonder who his friends are, because they would be seeking help for him. They wouldn't be allowing him to just talk and rant on all these platforms like the way he is. But that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, it's crazy time. And I think, again, folks, freedom of speech does not mean the right to say what you want without consequences. Take that away with it. What you got in the news for us, Maya?
Well, top in the news this morning, a 31-year-old local man was involved in a stabbing incident that took place around 5:15 p.m. on Monday at Queen Elizabeth Park, formerly known as Parlerville Park, in the city of Hamilton. The man was seen walking in the park by two members of the public before he collapsed on a set of steps. Emergency services were quickly called for assistance. On arrival, the ambulance personnel discovered that the man had been stabbed in the leg, which was treated at the scene, but he was transported to the hospital, but later discharged. And they're asking for members of the public who may have witnessed anything to please call 211.
Have you guys noticed? It seems like stabbings a lot. Like what? I mean, are young people carrying knives for protection in Bermuda right now?
Seems like it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, folks, if you know someone who's carrying a knife, talk to them. Just tell them.
Leave it at home, man.
Don't do it. Leave it at home. I mean, I don't know. Sorry about that, Maya. What else you got for us?
Next up, not too good news as well. Two visiting men were hurt and transported to the hospital via ambulance for treatment after a three-vehicle collision around 4:40 p.m. yesterday on South Road in Paget near the junction of Harvey Road. Each was riding a separate rental scooter at the time of the collision. One of the men is understood to have sustained injuries in his arms and legs. The other is understood to have sustained injuries on his hands. Both visitors are in Bermuda for the 2022 Butterfield Bermuda Championship Golf Tournament as well.
Yeah, I did see Glenn Jones, Bermudian over there working in Boston. He put up that one of the golf participants was injured in an accident that was in Bermuda for the PGA Grand Championship. That's crazy. Well, wishing them both, good health and hopefully, they get well very soon.
Yeah. Next up, a reminder from the Bermuda government that they put out yesterday. As of the 25th of October, so yesterday, the requirement for pre-arrival or pre-departure testing, arrival testing, and 4-day testing for all travelers will officially end. The requirement for unvaccinated visitors to provide proof of health insurance, which covers COVID medical expenses, will remain.
So we still got to pay $40.
They did not mention any update on the TA notification, but there wasn't no email saying that has been taken away. So you probably still have to pay the $40 when you enter Bermuda. Yes.
Okay.
We ain't coming back, Jamal.
I mean, I can't afford $40. I mean, you know how much a plane ticket is? Look, I asked Central Durham how much a plane ticket is. Additional $40. Nah, bro. What else you got for us, Maya? That $40 just hurt my pocket.
Well, again, the government's reminding all the parents and guardians of public school students that the 150 relief fund that ends October 31st. So you need to get in your applications to receive that funds and money by October 31st. As of the 24th of October, 2,276 have submitted for payment and 1,567 have received the payment. If anyone needs any help or assistance in trying to get that funds, they should email relief@moed.bm.
Yeah, don't be going on like they did in the U.S. What was it called? PPP. Don't PPP try to do it. Folks. Don't do it. We saw people getting caught up. PPP. What's the weather looking like, Mike?
Weather's looking like a lot of sunny spells, which is great, but it's probably going to get cloudier throughout the day, and there is still a chance of an odd shower or two later on. So just be mindful on the roads, pack your raincoats, and do not flat press your hair right now. I can't stress that enough. So we got a high near 81 degrees as well today in Bermuda.
All righty. Thank you so much. Phil, what you got days of the year for us?
Today's day of the year is National Pumpkin Day.
Oh.
So, National Pumpkin Day recognizes a favored autumn decoration food and on October 26th. So not only do they make great fall decorations, but the pumpkin also completes a variety of tasty recipes. Now, pumpkins are in the squash family and are native to North America. The oldest evidence of pumpkin-related seeds dates back somewhere between 7,000 and 5,500 BC to seeds found in Mexico. So whether you want to carve a pumpkin for Halloween or make them part of a pie or get that pumpkin spice latte, be sure to make pumpkins part of your Halloween or holiday season. I like a little pumpkin spice, Jamal. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm just disappointed people waste all that pumpkin to make a damn jack-o'-lantern. You put that in my pie. If you
a little pumpkin pie good as well too.
You know what I'm saying? Maya, thank you so much. Do you like pumpkin pie, Maya?
I love a little butternut squash soup. Like I will go crazy for butternut squash soup.
She's going fancy on us.
Yeah.
You said it. You said squash was part of the pumpkin family. Do not hate on me right now.
Yeah. On the higher end. On the higher end.
On the higher end.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
See you later.
You too. Maya Palacio, folks. Don't go anywhere. We're having a good conversation, folks. Last week, Bermuda celebrated National Pharmacy Week, trying to encourage young Bermudians to consider a career in pharmacy. Today, we have Tamara Richardson on from People's Pharmacy celebrating 38 years next week. So this should be a good conversation for so many reasons. Don't go anywhere. You want to be a part of it. Trust me. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Philip Trout, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, please don't forget to sign up for membership. Just hit the join button right below this video on YouTube to become an official member of our channel, like so many others have, including Sean DeShields, Carla J, Mark Arthur C. Phillips, Karen Simmons. So many of you. We appreciate you, and we are grateful for your contribution. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for today. We've got Tamara Richardson. Well, hold on. Tamara Richardson used to be
right.
First monthly, and now we haven't seen her since February, March. And this is an example of people getting tired of me and then giving me months off, folks. So let's bring Tamara in. Welcome. Let's give her. We didn't even have the crowd cheering when she was last on. Good morning, Tamara. Welcome back.
Under the bus. Was that the number 8 bus or number 10 to St. George?
Gracious.
Look, I would be lying, Tamara, if I didn't say that we honestly had people asking, oh, where's Tamara? Is she coming back on? I'm sure you had it as well. I'm pretty sure. So your contribution cannot be understated based on the conversations that you were having on this show on a regular basis. So welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back. Good morning, Phil. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Tamara. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So look, let's get into it. So 38 years.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't do it because I know where you're gonna go.
I'm not trying to age anyone because I'm older than that.
Sarah's not here.
A bit,
Hey.
but that's a time. 38 years in business is quite the accomplishment in Bermuda, especially for a Black woman-run business, right? How has your industry evolved over the years, though, from then to now?
I would say we've evolved. There's far more competition now in the pharmacy space, which is not always a bad thing. People expect far more of their pharmacies. So people's, in keeping up with that, has gone from, I think we were under 1,000 square feet to now 10,000 square feet of retail space. And just, I guess, pharmacy has evolved to require more hands-on. It's not as easy to get in touch with your doctor these days. It's not as affordable to get in touch with your doctor. So pharmacists have had to become far more active in the health outcomes of our customers. And that's what they're trained for. So in that respect, business has changed quite a bit.
Just interrupt. Yes. Purple Red says, I definitely miss Tamara. I'm telling you, trust me.
Thank you.
They were asking.
Sometimes we have to take our own advice, and I had to take my own advice this year for sure and step back a bit. The pandemic took a bit more of a toll than I expected.
Listen to what she just said, Kanye West. And I'm being dead serious. I'm not even being funny. I'm just, sometimes we have to take a step back and let things be. Okay, all these changes have happened, right? How has people's responded to the changes? Because one of the things for me was seeing how people's now has CBD products, which is a big change in the pharmaceutical space. But how else has people's responded to the changes in the industry?
So one of the main ways we've had to change is I have had to learn to step back. I have welcomed a great support team to help us manage all of our different growing areas. So people's ears far more than a pharmacy. We have the toy and baby side, which have a dynamic team who are doing great things this year. Since the pandemic and post-pandemic, doing an amazing job. We have obviously the health team, which is the core of our business. Like you mentioned, we've added CBD, but outside of the CBD, in the dispensary space, we source quite a number of specialist drugs for people. Unfortunately, our community is becoming more unhealthy, but also requiring more specialized drugs. And our pharmacists go out of their way to make sure those drugs are available to people in Bermuda. We have the gift section and home decor that became quite popular through COVID. So that has required a team of people to keep that looking a certain way. So our response has been to evolve just like our demographics evolve. People's Pharmacy, when it first opened, was primarily supported by the customers in the area or people from St. George's who knew my mom, who knew the Pearman family. Now our customer base is very much representative of the Bermuda population. So I think it's important for any business to understand the needs of their customer and to change with them.
Indeed.
Hi, Tamara. It's funny because as a child, you guys have been around for so long, but
yes,
I always think of the right. I always think of the pharmacy as like that's where I want to go to get toys. And even now, like obviously for medications because I'm a little broken down now, but like you guys have always had a good selection of stuff for the children. That's why I don't take Shiloh, my son, in there. But so let's talk about National Pharmacy Week in Bermuda, October 26th through the 22nd. So
16th to the 22nd.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
26.
We got you. Trust me, it was a surprise to us too. But yes, this year we made a concerted effort to recognize Pharmacy Week. Yes,
it was the 26th. I'm still saying
16th.
The 26th.
So the Bermuda Pharmaceutical Association, I think, did a great job of making sure all of the partnering pharmacies recognized it. Pharmacy, I think, is an industry in Bermuda that is underserved by our Bermudians. Anyone with young students who have even a modicum of interest in the sciences, pharmacists. If salary is important to you as a parent, like I know some parents think, there are 4 careers: doctor, lawyer, accountant, engineer, or failure. There are many other careers, pharmacy being one of them, which they walk out of school and in Bermuda command quite a good salary, quite knowledgeable, an integral part of healthcare. So the Pharmacist Week was important to help the community understand just the value of pharmacists in our community, but also to encourage people into the field. And if pharmacist isn't attainable, pharmacy technician, there are other careers in pharmacy, and all are needed to run a successful pharmacy in today's climate.
I'm gonna try and get this next question out properly, or I might have to come down for some CBD to sort my life out. But so you just talked about careers in pharmacy and encouraging young people to get into that field. Like what can we do as a community to encourage more young people to consider that, aside from talking about the money and what have you? What can we do to consider to help young people consider pharmacists or field or a career in pharmacy as an option?
I think, well, I haven't been in school for a while, but when I was, well, my children are young. I think people tend to look at success as only international business in Bermuda. I think if we allow our children into these other industries, even at People's Pharmacy, our pharmacy technician that we acknowledged and congratulated last week, she started out as a sales associate at the cash register. She moved into the dispensary. Now she qualified as a pharmacy technician. Ultimately, now she would like to become a pharmacist. So I think in order for us to get people to move into the industries and careers that Bermuda needs, like look at where all of our work permits are, then we as parents have to be open to them getting in and starting at the bottom. We have to encourage them. Not everybody, is going to get an internship at Ace and Excel and then rise up the ranks there. Like, I think we have to be open to the fact that success looks different for everybody, and there are many paths to the top.
Agreed. You talked earlier about going through the pandemic situation for people's, like, can you just talk about, like, what was that like for you guys? Because I'm imagining that COVID would have influenced some of new products that you had to bring in, or it would have, like, all businesses around Bermuda had to make adjustments. Like, what was that period like for you guys over at People's?
So the main thing is that it was nonstop. So while the rest of the world seemed to hit the pause button, the healthcare industry and pharmacies, believe me, were an integral part of the healthcare industry, was nonstop. So I don't even think most of the people at People's recognized how burned out we were until we were able to, like, breathe, until the world opened back up. But then at that point, everyone else is getting back to quote unquote normal, and we have never taken a breath. So number one was just recognizing how much of a toll it took on people. Number two was us learning as a business to manage with uncertainty. We were never sure, what the rules were. We were never sure how many staff would be able to turn up, because there was a point when quarantine periods were like 14 days. So you're talking about a business that normally would take 10 to 15 people to operate. Some days only 6-7 people were allowed to come to work. So that took a lot of adjustment. That took a lot of right sizing. And we learned a lot. We learned that we could be more efficient, that we could do business a lot leaner. And then, like you said, yes, new products, understanding the psychology of our customers. People, when they can't travel, they do still want that good shopping experience. They just want to come in, they want to browse, they want to be able to buy something, because a lot of people have been stuck in Bermuda for the last 2 to 3 years and can't travel. So coming to People's is an experience and an outing for them. And so we've had to adjust to that.
Indeed.
That's impressive. And I think I just want to say, from the community, thank you for what you guys have done. And pharmacy is sort of like the firefighter. Like, you don't need them till you need them. And when you need them, you're happy that they're there. They're always there for you. And for the most part, you can get what you need there, including my Halloween costume, which I need to get. So one more question. People's has grown to be much more than a pharmacy over the years, speaking of Halloween costumes. So what's new on the horizon for you guys as far as, like, growth, expansion? What do you got planned for the future of People's?
So we also in 2016 opened our pharmacy at the hospital. So we definitely have plans to expand some of our services and offerings within the hospital community. That's a fantastic, more clinical operation. Our pharmacists there constantly get accolades and thank yous because obviously they're dealing with a much more sick population. They do a lot of conversing back and forth with doctors to make sure that people get the right medicines. Quite a number of people who come in there are on have very chronic diseases, so are on extreme pain regimens to manage their pain and what have you. So it's just a different environment down there. And then the other thing is we are looking to open a third dispensary very soon in the city. So stay tuned for that.
All righty. We got a lot of questions from the audience. We like the sounds of that. If you have any questions for Tamara, please send them through. Tanya Cheeseman, she says, love People's Pharmacy. Has it ever been considered to put a branch in the east/west ends of the island?
So as I build out a team who can support the people's growth, all things are on the table. But it is very important to me, though, to get our Victoria Street operation running as efficiently as possible. Like I said, coming out of the pandemic, we learned a lot of lessons. Technology is moving a lot faster than we were moving pre-pandemic. So with the help of technology, expansion into even areas outside of Bermuda are potentially possible.
Oh, I love the sounds of that. Love it. Sean Smith's asking, what is the educational background required to become a pharmacist?
So in the UK, I believe it is, I always get confused with the UK, but I believe it's a four-year degree, which would be the equivalent of a bachelor's. In the US, you need to do a bachelor's and then you need to do the equivalent of a doctorate of pharmacy, so a few more years. And then a lot of our pharmacists also come from Jamaica. So in the West Indies, University of the West Indies, I believe it's a 4-year degree as well.
Interesting.
I am not a pharmacist, so I'm sure my mother would want to send me back as well. Go back in time and wished I had become one, but I definitely would have had no days off if I was.
No worries. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, congrats, Tamara. I'm truly happy to see the growth. My mom, your old PE teacher, told me about the rich history of peoples. Well, let's speak about that a bit, the history of peoples. What does, when you hear people say stuff like this and people who understand the story, what do you feel or you hope your mother, your family, that this giant of a company means to the local community and economy?
So yes, I think it's important to say for people who don't know. So my mother started People's Pharmacy in 1984. No male in my family, my mother. Her father did join with her to support her because my family, the Pierman family, are very heavy on family support. And my mother's 2 sisters also invested in the business. It's, I think, easy to look now in 2022 at businesses and how much support they have to open and to underestimate how much courage, how much gumption it took my mother in 1984 when there were very few that I can think of, possibly no retail businesses that were Black owned. We may have had women owned ones, but definitely none that were Black owned. To not only open a pharmacy, but to open a pharmacy that was in direct competition with the biggest chain of pharmacies at the time, who also owned and to this day still control the supply of drugs. So my mother, she's quite a woman. She felt like the people in Bermuda, Black people at the time, were underserved when it came to the area of pharmacy. She felt like she had a solution, and she took a year off from work. She put her plan together. She got her family support. And in 1984, she launched People's. Like I said, it was under 1,000 square feet. The area was extremely different. It was not called North Hamilton at the time. It was back of town. And she just put her head down with her family. She opened with her cousin. I think there were 5 people at the beginning. Probably 3 of them were relatives. And they just slowly, with extremely good customer service, provided solutions for the people of Bermuda. And we've just grown from strength to strength based on that premise that the people of Bermuda need certain solutions, and those solutions should be delivered with the best customer service possible.
It's a story, folks.
I was going to say that. There's a story in there, man.
How involved in the latest medical innovations do pharmacies get?
So medical innovations or pharmaceutical innovations. So a bit two different things, but we do need to stay involved in what is currently available, especially when it comes to treating some of the more chronic diseases, hepatitis. There's a tremendous amount of kidney disease in Bermuda. With COVID, our pharmacists had to be integral in staying in communication with the doctors at the hospital when new medications came out, understanding the contraindications, understanding what questions they needed to ask patients who were prescribed the medications, just to make sure. So the pharmacist is like your check and balance to make sure they're not there to question your doctor, but they are there to make sure your doctor has made the right decision, considering other medications you're on, considering weight and just different things for different individuals. So your pharmacist is like your advocate to make sure your doctor is 100% sure, especially with new medications, that you're getting the right thing.
Christine Pierman says, congratulations to Tamara and the family. Tamara, you are great. Thanks for the assistance that your mom and you have given me over the years.
That's the community is talking right back to you.
Yeah. Aaron Smith says, the burnout was real. Thank you for pushing on. I honestly, and this is not being selfish, but it's just the truth. You have been a miss, but I'm just glad that you're so transparent and honest with people that at the end of the day, you know, sometimes we have to take our own advice, right? Sometimes we have to take a break. We have to, you know, give ourselves the space that's needed. Again,
I will say,
go ahead.
You can burn the candle at both ends for only so long. So especially if you're a woman under 40, stop burning the candle at both ends, because once you hit 40, you will pay.
Ooh, I'm going to have to use that one as a daily inspiration next time.
Burning the candle. Like a lot of us look at being overworked as sort of a badge of honor. I can do it. I can push through. At some point, your body will make you choose.
I agree. And though I'm not a woman, I definitely appreciate that. I mean, just offline conversation we were having before we came on, Tamara, when I was saying, you know, I went for a walk this morning, and this guy walks his dog every morning, and he stopped me. He says, "Jamel, you used to be out here 4:30 running mornings. What's going on? You're walking, and it's 5, like it's pretty much it's almost 6 a.m." And I said, "Things change, man. You know, I just don't have the energy anymore." And he said to me, "Well, it's also much darker right now as well." But again, I just think, you know, look, entrepreneurs don't just live this lavish life and sit back drinking margaritas, especially when they have a company the size of yours.
It takes a lot of energy to create and to bring something to fruition, and you are doing that through your companies. And I think you're understanding how much energy you're expending. Takes a lot out of you. So just walk if you have to, as long as you keep moving.
Yeah. One last comment for you before you go. Secure Bermuda says, Secure BDA, sorry. "Thank you for all that you do. Every time I go into People's, I buy something that I did not intend on buying. There's always something new and exciting there." I'm going to be honest. I went to People's. People's, everyone knows it's. My niece thinks it's the only pharmacy and toy store in Bermuda. Literally, like if someone says, "Oh, I'm going to the store," "Oh, can you get me that from where?" "People's." That's just whatever. But that said, I during the summer, I was in Bermuda and I was working. So I was on my sister's bike a lot. And I guess I'm older now, so I get heat rash now. Like my skin reacts differently to the sun. Now, monkeypox was a thing. It was on the news every day. So what did I do? I went to People's, and honestly, I wish I got the names. The people behind the counter. One young lady, she called the pharmacist. She said, "Can you hold on?" She came to me. She looked at it, says, okay, she gave me this, she gave me that. They gave me the feel as if I was in the doctor's office. And for that, Tamara, I can honestly say I appreciated them. I wish I knew their names so that I can give one of those positive reviews on those negative review pages, because it was awesome how they were.
All of our staff are awesome. Yes, and I think a lot of people don't understand how helpful the pharmacists can be. I grew up getting sent to bed no matter what was wrong with me, but I promise you that pharmacists are more caring when it's not their children. And I think our healthcare system, I believe they just released some reports on how many people go to emergency. If we helped educate people to the other options, I think those are some of the ways we could also look to start bringing down healthcare costs, other than just some of these grand plans that they talk about. There are some simple fixes. And one of them is tapping into your pharmacist, which is, I'll put in quotes, a free service, especially for simple questions, rashes.
Yeah. Well,
you
Tamara,
don't have to show up at emergency for everything.
Yeah, no, seriously, because I was that guy. I'd be running to the doctor. Some people think I run doctor for anything, but no, honestly, I appreciate the conversation. Appreciate what Peoples continues to do, and hopefully, you've had some time off, and we'll see. She knew what I was going to say. Hopefully, we'll see you again. Hopefully, before Christmas. A lot of things happen at Peoples during the holidays. So, thank you, Tamara. Honestly, for all that you do.
I'll give you a call about that dispensary.
Okay, no problem.
Tamara Richardson, folks, go check Peoples out. Talk soon, Tamara.
Have a great day.
Alrighty. All right, folks, go check them out. People's Pharmacy. I'm so grateful to Tamara, Miss Pyramid, and her mom, and I learned a lot of lessons from them, just in business, but also how important the pharmacy is. If I wouldn't have listened, I used Ezra Williams yesterday as an example of making sure that I eat more antioxidants from blueberries. But if I was me, I would have called went straight Dr. D, and he probably would have been busy because, I think, my doctor should drop this. But I said, no, let me go to the pharmacy. And honestly, Phil, they literally were so helpful. The rash was gone by a cot match. I must have went Saturday. It was done. It was gone. And you, bro, folks, use your pharmacist. We're going to take a quick break. Come back, wrap it up. Phil, you ready for the Daily Play?
I think so. I got my red shirt on.
He says it's ready, folks. Got his Republican colors on. Let's do it. Stick with us.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
Alrighty, thanks again to Tamara Richardson from People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you found that conversation helpful, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you hit that like button and notification bell on our YouTube channel. If you found this helpful, please share it with your friends, your family, with your colleagues. Trust me, it's helpful information. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0, great taste, no alcohol, and Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Phil, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. I don't think the audience is going to know this one. What did the big timers wear with their gator boots?
Oh my gosh. I don't know this. I know it. But I know the song, but I can't remember the lyrics.
Help him out, folks.
Who knows? Suits with the furs.
No. What did the big timers wear with their gator boots?
don't know. I don't know this one. I know this song. The song's in my head.
The song Still Fly. I'm still fly.
Yeah, man.
Big timers, we're with their gator boots. The answer is pimped out Gucci suit.
Shoes.
Folks, nobody got it. You finally tripped.
That's a good question though, because now I want to go listen to it.
Yeah, that's a bad song, boy. That's a bad. I'm gonna download after this. Anyway, real quickly, final thoughts on Ye situation, and then Tamara, and then yeah.
Words have consequences. Freedom of speech. Just stop saying freedom of speech. Like honestly, that just riles me up. Stop saying freedom of speech. Like know what it means. Jeez. There is a story in Peoples. Because if we're talking about, you have a Black-owned business, family-owned business, it was started by a Black woman Bermudian. How many 38 years and you're still in business? Like how many stories are there like that? There is for somebody in the news, if you're looking for a story or somebody wants to do a documentary, there is a story in there. That's all I have to say about that.
I agree. As far as I just want to echo what you said, Phil. I mean, freedom of speech is not real. Like, folks, understand what it means. Like, it doesn't, as you know, to quote Maya and what I say all the time, it doesn't mean free to say what you want or anything without consequence. Understand that. I mean, especially in my space, you know, words have consequences, right? It could mean people not financially supporting you, and that's their right. As far as Tamara, I admire everything about the People's Pharmacy story. And my hope is that we can encourage more young people to get into pharmacy and pharmacy tech and want to become pharmacists. As she stated, it's not all about being a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor. There are other very valuable careers for us to ensure our children are considering. So thanks again to Tamara and the entire People's Pharmacy team for trusting this platform to support it in many ways. Phil, you got some daily inspiration for us?
Yeah, man. You know Gary V, right? Gary Vaynerchuk?
Is it the TV personality person?
No, he does a lot of business, like
he's on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn.
He does a lot of inspirational stuff about, you know, business and entrepreneurship. Anyway, one of his quotes says, "Losing tastes much better than not playing."
There you go. I
like that one.
There you go. Well, I mean,
Gary V.
I'm a changed man, so I agree with that now. But before, you know, some people would tell you if I saw somebody on a treadmill next to me going faster, I'd wait till they were done. But I'm different now. I'm gonna go for you. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Philip Trott. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and a great day. Larry has his mug, and Phil is still without. Peace.